to the Ministry Shift. I hope you're well. I'm Malcolm Mycock. I'm a curate in Bucknell Team Ministry. It's good to be with you this afternoon. Today, in today's show, we're talking about and thinking about fresh expression. And I've got three guests with me who are involved in one way or another in fresh expressions, should I say. I think what would be nice to start with, why don't you all introduce yourselves and just give us a couple of sentences to kind of say who you are and kind of where you're from, sort of context that you're in, if you like. So Matt, I'm going to start with you. Okay. I'm going to go with it should be ladies first, but I'm going to start with you, Matt. All right. Because you're a Welshman. All right. You go first.
So I'm Matt, and I'm the Pioneer Youth Minister for Oswestry Rural Youth Church, kind of working with 16 rural parishes to create a church and a connection with the young people that live within them.
Brilliant. Okay, Matt, thanks. And Di, what about yourself?
So I'm the Deanery Missioner, Benefice Missioner for Rockwoodine Deanery, which is a benefice of 12 rural churches between Telford and Shrewsbury, or Shrewsbury, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And I oversee 6 fresh expressions of worship for children, young people and families.
Thanks, Di. And Alex, last but not least.
So I'm based in the Staffordshire Moorlands, and myself and a small team have set up a community team of about 12 to 20 people who meet on a Sunday in the school to fellowship and do school together, work together, life together, everything together.
Fantastic. Well, I guess, if I'm honest with you, I used to wonder what a fresh expression was. I used to find it really hard to pin it down. So it's great having you with us to kind of talk about this. And I suppose we want to talk about what you're doing and how you're finding things, particularly in this sort of environment we find ourselves in at the minute. How are things going? Alex, I'm going to come back to you and start with you first. Can you tell us a bit about, you kind of touched on what you do and what your expression of church is, if you like, where you are in Brown Edge. Can you tell us kind of what it's about a bit more and how you're finding things at the moment?
Yeah, it's our meeting on a Sunday is based around food. So our heart was always to have food at the centre of what we did. We felt it was really important that we built a community that did life together rather than a typical church. We have teaching, but the centre of it is always food. We always eat together. And so as soon as lockdown started, it was all a bit of a nightmare, really, because the thing that we do, the thing that was at the heart, the thing that we felt called to do was instantly taken from us. So it's been a challenge to work out how to live life and do community together from a social distance virtually, really.
Okay. So, I mean, how are you going about it? I mean, are you doing what we're doing now? Are you using sort of Zoom and things to meet, or?
Yeah, we've got a real mix of people that come to connect to. The youngest is at school still, a child, and the eldest is 90 plus. So not everybody within our community has access to Zoom. And so that was a challenge as well, to try and work out how to keep everybody connected. So we've done a real mix of phone calls and texts. We have started to meet regularly on Zoom on a Sunday, just for a short time. And then we also send prayer requests around. But we've printed materials off as well and posted them through doors. So we all know that we're looking at the same Bible study and looking at the same passages. Then we try and send little gifts around to everyone to show that we still love them and we care for them. Yeah. And we sent Easter eggs around and little cards around and biscuits around and things, and we leave them on the doorstep and then run. Just to let people know that we're thinking about them and that we're still caring, even though we can't be together.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, Di, can I just come across to you now, if that's okay? Now, I believe so. You're mainly, it's youth work, isn't it? If you like, is that right?
No, it's a bit more intergenerational, really. We've got different fresh expressions. So we've got 3 fresh expressions, which are for families with young children under the age of 5.
Yeah.
Which is praise and play. And then we've got 2 messy churches, which we've really worked hard at over the last 3 years of making them really intergenerational, where it's not just for the children, but actually everybody, a bit like Alex says, that it's a real community coming together and experiencing church together in a creative way.
Yeah.
And then we do have a youth cafe as well, which is just for the young people, but they are part of our messy churches as well. So there is that overlap. A lot of the praise and play families come to messy church as well as the youth. So kind of the messy churches are intergenerational, and then we have some kind of age specific fresh expressions as well.
Sorry, I do apologize.
No.
I was just going to say, so I mean, so for yourself, I mean, how are you? And I'm actually interested in this myself, to be honest with you. How are you doing, sort of, in keeping in contact with people? And are you still having messy church, for instance, at the moment?
We are, actually. It's been a real challenge because, you know, we're in a rural context. Our internet, you know, we're not high-tech churches at all, usually on a Sunday. And even in our messy churches, yeah, we have PowerPoint to show the words and things, and we have a couple of people on guitar, but you know, we're not kind of set up for live streaming. A bit like Alex, we managed just before lockdown, we bought a lot of prepared crafts for our Easter messy church. Yeah. So we made some messy church in a bag, and so we put some pre-prepared crafts into little carrier bags. We put palm leaves in, because we bought some palm leaves for doing some schools work, which had to be cancelled. So I put kind of 4 palm leaves in each messy church bag with instructions of how to make your own palm cross. And then I did a video which I posted on Facebook, actually showing them in case they were struggling, kind of following the instructions. Right. Then we put some treats in and other things and that, and we got those out literally on the Monday as we went into lockdown. Right. So we delivered them round to the church porches, because at the time churches were still able to be open for private prayer. So we left them on the doorstep of each church and kind of emailed around and said, go and collect yourself a messy church in a bag type thing. And then in Holy Week, we kind of took it a bit further and we did messy church online.
Okay.
So I got different members of the team and different families to video on their mobile phone different things. So some families did an activity which they videoed how they did it, what to do. Some did the prayers, some leaders did the Bible story. We did songs by people videoing themselves. We got so proud of ourselves because by the time we got to Easter Day, we got better as the week went on. And on Easter Sunday, we managed to have the bass player at his house playing, the acoustic player playing at his house, and one of the young people singing and doing the actions, and all on top of each other, not on top of each other, but videoing next to each other. And yeah. Wow. But it was amazing, the feedback from the families of how much they appreciated it, people posting their pictures online of when they'd done their activities and just thanking us for what we were doing has just been so rewarding, and worth every bit of the tearing your hair out of trying to get the technology to work and and how you could download each other's videos, you know, when your internet is like so slow.
I think a lot of people feel your pain, Di, of trying to having to become film directors very quickly, which has been I think am I right in saying, so didn't you sort of have a messy church almost every day through Holy Week, I was told? Is that right?
That's right, yeah. So we started on Palm Sunday. Normally we would only do messy church, to be fair, on Good Friday, normally. Yeah. And this year, because of, I don't know, we found some online material from somebody called Together at Home. I think she's Jessica Jenner. She'd posted some free to use material, and she went through every day in Holy Week following the lectionary. And it was activities and prayers and things, and so it fitted really quite well with messy church. So we thought, well, actually, you know, people are struggling at home in this period, you know, with their families, with the children, with understanding what's going on and feeling isolated and separated. So we said, let's do it every day in Holy Week. So we did it from Palm Sunday right through to and including Easter Day. And actually, that's something that is making us think about next year, you know, when we come out of this situation.
Yeah.
We've never done Holy Week with families before.
Yeah.
We do it with our traditional congregations, but we've only ever done, you know, maybe one thing during the week. And for the response we've had and the people that interacted with it, and it's really making us think about what we're going to do next year when hopefully we're out of this situation. And but actually perhaps doing something online during Holy Week for families to connect to.
Thanks, Di. Thanks, Di. So Matt, tell us about your sort of ministry and what you're doing, how you're finding things at the moment.
Yeah, so we are trying to do a number of things, but one of the things is trying to break down that sort of stereotype that young people have of church, especially in the rural parish churches where it is the old stone covered building.
Yeah,
we're just trying to break that kind of stereotype that they've got that goes with that. So we normally would do things like church in the woods kind of scenario where we did bushcraft and backwards cooking, looking at what do we really need to survive. We've done activities, big wide games and open spaces, really trying to get outside and embrace the rural life, as well as introducing and strengthening introducing the faith to some young people and strengthening the faith that others have.
Okay, so because it sounds like you cover quite a wide area, don't you? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah, I cover 16 parishes, which I kind of call the donut around Oswestry.
Okay.
It's all the parishes surrounding Oswestry. So normally we would have a regular small group, which would cover a couple of parishes, and then another one that covers a couple more. So they're kind of networked but local. So since coming into this situation, we've kind of grouped everyone together, and we do a weekly Zoom youth small group, which is quite interesting. And then we've also I've realised that a lot of the young people are using their parents' internet, if not their own laptops and everything. So we've created we did last week and we're going to be doing next week a family quiz. So it's just bringing all the families of church leaders, families of the young people, families of children who are soon to become young people, and just a way to kind of introduce ORIC, Oswestry Rural Youth Church, to them, but also to keep that kind of friendly fellowship, fun amongst them, and a conversation that isn't about COVID-19.
Which is always nice at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you doing this sort of, is this live on Zoom you're doing this?
Yeah, so we send out a flyer. If they're interested, we then give them the details, and then it's all on Zoom.
Right.
Obviously, they can't pass their answers to the team to the left, but so there's an honesty thing about the marking. But it was really good fun, and we're hoping to do it. We are doing it in a couple of weeks' time, so it'll be every couple of weeks, something just to break up the monotony of evening TV, really.
Yeah. It sort of sounds, actually, as hard as things are at the moment, it does sound that actually there's some really good things happening, isn't there? You know, there's some sort of new way of doing things, if you like. But it's it sounds really positive. Listen, there's so much that we could talk about. We're actually coming to the end of end of our time, actually. Can I just say thank you for your? We have to do this again, I think, on the same subject, because there's just so much I'd like to ask you all about, and so much that we could discuss. I know there is. But just thank you so much. I just want to say, actually, before we do sort of finish, that I don't know if anybody who's watching or listening has plugged into, and I don't know if you guys have actually, you know, that, well, I know you have, Alex, the greenhouse stuff and the FX Godsend, which is all based around this project that Lichfield Diocese are running at the moment, all based around fresh expressions and bringing people together, giving people ideas of what a fresh expressions is, what you might want to do. What I would say is check it out. Would you agree, Alex? Have you found it useful?
Yeah, no, found it really useful. Yeah, just to meet up and to share ideas and to know people are praying for you as well. So yeah, really worth hooking up into.
Brilliant. Yeah, so can't go into it too much, but look it up. So it's Greenhouse at Lichfield, and it's FX Godsend. There's actually an app that you can download free, and it's well worth a look. Matt, Di, Alex, thank you so much. Like I say, we could have talked for a lot longer, but thank you so much. Look after yourselves. Take care. And if you're watching, I hope you've enjoyed this week's ministry shift. We're back on Monday at 4:30, and I think we're talking about reaching out to people online. So take care and God bless.